was playoff football. Wild and crazy and up and down and beautiful and ugly. But it was a classic game, and this is why I was happy the Miami Dolphins made it in. Because when you get in, magic can happen. And we've laid an egg for 20 years. But this one, we fought hard. And this will be a memory. If you love the game of football and you remember, the big games, this is one that's going to sit with you. Sucks that our Dolphins are the bridesmaid, not the bride. 10 points between 3 games, a little bit here, a little bit there, and we would be moving forward. So we got to take kind of the good as Dolphin fans from this moment. Enjoy this moment. I don't know what's going to project going forward. There's some real hope and some real concerns. But the same thing, too, with the Bills fans. There's some real hope going forward and real concerns. I won't know till 2023 if my concerns will be fixed. We'll know next week against probably what will be the Bengals if yours will get fixed. But they need to. Both these teams really have such good potential, but there is some serious warts that have to be resolved. But congratulations to you Bills fans. It stings. I was expecting this game to be tough in the third. I said that in my podcast, but I didn't think it would be like this. It's a little tougher than I thought it would be, but I do want to give an honest, sincere congratulations to Buffalo Bills fans and to the Bills organization and to Josh Allen for pulling it out at the end. I think I might be rooting for you going forward. I'll have to wait for a day or two to think about that. But also I want to give a congratulations to the Dolphins fans and their team my team because nobody expected this. And there is some nice to what we were able to do. So this game was not what I anticipated. I was writing notes. I was being very diligent and being an evaluator. But when we got tied into that, going into the halftime, man, I eyed the cabinet with all the goodies that Curtis isn't supposed to touch, and I made a mad dash for it. My wife saw me and tried to cut me off the pass, stiff-armed the pirouette and took the Fritos and made it back safe. And I was gobbling those things down, getting totally high on Fritos. And I see Zach Seal. I wasn't even paying attention. He goes in and is 24-20. And after that, my head was pounding from the Fritos and the stress and the excitement. So I'm going to lay it out here what I saw. And then afterwards do a more coherent Bills and Dolphins podcast to dial it in after I calm down and get over the Frito hangover and watch some more film. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I really appreciate everything you guys do. I want to give you a shout out to Ace Spread, my sponsor, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, this game was all over the place. Hot potato, you take it, I take it. Bills fans, I take it. This was such a sloppy game, but then there was so many epic big points within it as well. Now, we all kind of know what happened in the game. To me, the big difference was the Bills started running, stopped running, went vertical like crazy. They made McDaniel jealous with the vertical that they went. And then they started getting back to a more balanced, diverse look, and it started reassuming control. Dolphins came out uber sloppy. The defensive line, I did my happy podcast. People were getting upset because I was complaining about the offensive line, but I think some of that was vindicated a little bit. 42 yards rushing, lots of pressure. But my man Tehran showed up and made a big difference. He played like a true gladiator. But I did my happy podcast on the defensive line, and they really showed up. And whatever you think about Boyer, his unit and his group really came through for us. So I'm gonna focus on the Dolphins right here, right now, and I'll do the Bills next after this. We have an unbelievable D front. I don't know if we can maintain this zero stuff because our corners, they made some big plays and then they got burnt on some big plays, a couple of drops. We had our drops too. It would have hurt us. But this D front is something to build on as far as your hope going forward. Offensive line, 42 yards on the ground. I was still high on the Fritos. Dolphins, Ahmed, 5 for 3. Jeff Wilson, 10 for 23. That you can't work with that. There was a big difference. Singletary, he capped out, whether you think he got the first or not. That was a big run. It was several big runs. He had 10 for 48. Cook had 12 for 39. They at least made some honest attempt to run the football. They didn't do it in the middle, and that's why they started getting jacked. We need a better offensive line. We need a healthier unit. We need to be able to run the football. We need to figure out a defense with this awesome front, whatever that is, whether it's the same coordinator or not. But there's a lot of good things. We need Hill and Waddle to catch more footballs and not drop so many. But the one thing that I need to focus on, and you need to focus on, and this organization needs to focus on, is organization. We had them on the edge. We dropped the ball with all these penalties. And at 4th and 1, I saw McDaniel say he thought it was somebody told him it was first down. I don't like when they do that. I like McDaniel. I like what he's doing. There's a lot of things I like. There's certain things that I'm concerned. But the one thing I don't like, I really don't like, is him and O.C. Smith like to throw people under the bus. Oh, it wasn't play calls. It was execution. It was this person. It was a passing game. They love to throw all the people under the bus. But if the guy told you it was first down, you put him in the job. You're the one calling all this motion, which is great. It creates movement. You see what the defense is doing. You create mismatches. Obviously, it's a big help. But too much seems to be here because either the players can't handle it or McDaniel is not able to install it. And so whatever this guy can do, which is a lot, he took this team, whatever you say, you might be unhappy with his lack of discipline, but the team itself took the Bills to the edge. But this team will not have any success unless they gain discipline, unless they build an offensive line. These two things will be critical. It will be interesting to see. McDaniel is the head coach. Some people that I really like in the comment section, they're like, you can't blame the coach. It's on the play. No. At this stage, then you got to fire a lot of players. This is the most critical thing. It's inexcusable what we saw. We saw it all season. It's got to change. But still, we've got to have a little bit of hope. But we definitely need discipline. We definitely need a better offensive line. We definitely need to find some way to stop having all these injuries. Or else it's going to be an inconsistent 2023. But let's see. Let's see how the offseason plays out. Now, for the Bills, you guys 13-4, AFC East, second in the conference. You're going to play the Bengals next week. And when you're on your A game, you guys are dynamic and phenomenal. But there's, just like my team, there's a tendency to want to go deep, baby, and be inconsistent. Sometimes, for you guys, it's not so much penalties. For us, it's penalties. But for you guys, Allen gets he gets a lot of picks. He gets turnovers. But that is also a product of not helping him out. The game opened up with deep passing, but there was some underneath stuff. There was some run games. There was some balance. But then you got so into the go deep, baby. The pressure from that deep front kind of forced Allen into some mistakes. There was some drops. You need to run the football more. What Smith with Singletary and Cook were able to do, you need to get more of that. You need to trust in more people than Allen bail us out. Because at some point, it's not going to be enough. He is human. My concern for you going forward in this week is the Bengals are a tough team, mentally tough. They can score points. They can play defense. If you're sloppy, you might find yourself on the losing end. Dorsey needs to be more consistent in his play calls, more patient, and get some run diversity, which I've been talking about for quite some time. If that happens, you guys will get your dream, but I am a little concerned. Now, on a good note, Allen comes through. He's like a Superman. Davis had an amazing game, big game. Knox, he had his touchdown, which is 17, now 18-1 when he scores a touchdown. But Frazier really showed that's the ability. As unstable at times Dorsey becomes, Frazier, he had a lot to carry with that 13 seconds from last year. He really came through. The defense really came through this week and bailed you guys out. And I give Frazier a ton of credit. I like a lot what he did. Now, on a negative side, our offensive line was garbage. Tehran came in and played phenomenal under all kinds of injuries. And you guys don't like to blitz too much, but you started blitzing a little bit more because you needed a little more pressure. You got that pressure, but at times it opened up the back. But Burrow, he's got an okay line, but he is so good. He's going to make you pay. And if you had to bring that extra blitzer, it could hurt you. You were missing Phillips. I didn't think you would, but Tehran being in kind of made Phillips a need. Hopefully he's back for you next week. Vaughn won't be. You're going to miss him all season. I think Phillips is a big return for you guys. So you're going to need him to return. Defense played pretty good. Some mistakes. You're missing some of your guys. Some of these guys are still getting themselves back. Trey White needs to heal up a little bit. But overall, the team pulled through, but sloppy. So I don't know how it's going to play out for you this week against the Bengals. I think I will be rooting for you. Congratulations. Wild card win. Dolphins fans, Bills fans, I thank you for stopping by. This is a little, like I said, I'm coming down from the Fritos. It's a little bit of a heartbreaker. So I'll come back to you with a more coherent stuff for you guys. Just want to give a quick shout out of what the situation was. I want to hear in your comments what you think. So be a little lenient on Curtis. The Fritos hit me hard. I had a good time for the most part. But anyway, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins in 2023. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.